Hey traders, back to another video here. So what's the one most important advice I will give to any intermediate traders if you're currently approaching your second year, or if you are still finding inconsistency when you're hitting that second and third year? This lesson is for you. So I used to put a lot of attention, a lot of focus on mastering my entry position. Entry positioning simply means if let's say today I'm entering at $1, okay, my usual stop loss based on this specific strategy will be 30 pips. Assuming, so let's say your strategy is as simple as a break and retest. So let's say a break and retest strategy. Simple, price break out of the previous high, resistance now becomes support. On your usual entry model, you'll have a 30 pip stop loss. Okay. Entry positioning simply means how can I make sure I get into my position with the tighter stops so I can optimize or maximize my risk reward. Because again, logically, if you have a tighter stop loss, let's say from 30 pips, you're able to reduce 33.3% from 30 pips to 20 pips stop loss here. You just improve your risk reward by a significant amount as well. So if you look at this, right now it's 4.23R. If I go back to 30 pip stops, that will give you a 2.82. So that's about 1.5, nearly 1.5 R difference. And also, you'll have a larger lot size. But the main bulk of putting all of your focus into mastering your entry position, refining your entry model, is you tend to sacrifice win rate. That's one thing. Again, there's no such thing as how I'm able to maintain my win rate. Let's say if you have a 30 pip stop loss, your usual win rate is 60%. It is almost impossible that you can maintain the same 60% win rate when you reduce your stop loss by 30%, 33%. It is almost mathematically impossible. And especially in terms of probability, unless you are really good at this, but I will say almost impossible. So I spent a lot of time on improving my entry, but just to realize my equity curve were getting more swingy. So my equity curve could be, based on the 30 pip stop loss, based on this strategy system A, maybe my equity curve looks like this. It's a pretty steady growth process, but the moment when I tighten my stop loss, because again, I'm trying to precise my entry, my equity curve becomes, let's say compared to this one, becomes a lot more swingy. So I'll tend to have a lot more emotional roller coaster. However, I still make money. So again, it all depends on what kind of personality you have, or what kind of approach are you striving for. Because some traders, they really cannot handle the kind of big swings on the equity curve, especially if you're trading on an online prop firm. Because online prop firm, they have a rigid drawdown rule. If let's say you lose more than 8 or 10% for most of the companies, your account is gone. You're below the challenge. If you get to fund it, obviously you will much prefer to have an approach A, which is this bottom one. Let's call this A, with a more sustainable entry model, versus B. I used to trade only on pound dollar with the 5 to 8 pip stop loss as well. That was me when I was in my first to third year. Then I slowly, again, it wasn't easy because I was trading from, let's say you're trading 200k account. You were having 30, 40 lots. All of a sudden, because I was trying to build sustainability within my edge, all of a sudden my lot size dropped about 40%, 40 to 50%. So from trading 40 lots, now go down to 20 lots, sometimes 25. That was a big drop to me. And the big drop in lot size also leads to less excitement. Because as a trader, to me, as much as I think this is business, as much as I think As a trader, we should be trading with as little emotion as possible. But some sort of excitement is also important, because I believe all of you traders, we always have some tiny bits of gambling mentality. But the difference between us trader versus a gambler is we don't have hopeful thinking. We go into the market purely with the mentality of I'm here to execute. I'm not here to second guess. I'm not here to gamble. I'm not here for the 50-50 game. I'm here to execute my edge. What's my edge? Based on my system, based on my back-tested, forward-tested strategy. Now let's go to, now what's more important? You may be questioning. So, Neo, you say that entry is not as important. What's more important? Your trade management and your exit. I'll merge two of these aspects together. So these are big topics. If I were to, inside our trade club, just a few of these topics is easily more than 20 to 30 lessons. So you see, if let's say I'm trying to, if you think about it logically, how do you make money as a trader? You make money as a trader by closing a position, not opening a position. The moment when you open a new position, you have your spreads, you have your commission, you might have slippage incurred. So opening a position, you lose money. What makes you money is the way you close the trade. So if you are someone who's still finding inconsistency, especially in your second to third year, put more attention, put more focus on your trade management, on your exit model. So think about, how can I ensure every single time when I exit a position based on different strategy, based on different kind of market condition, how do I ensure they are mechanical, they are similar? Because what makes a trader inconsistent, or what makes you unprofitable, is usually you closing a position differently every single time. Sometimes you close a position based on fitting. Oh, there's a, let's say you go short on this break and retest. Oh, there's a big candle, let me close the trade. Or sometimes you break even a position. Sometimes you don't do anything. Sometimes you set and forget. So trade management / your exit model will usually be the headaches. So put more focus onto building a mechanical exit model or trade management model, so that every time when you close out a position, it's always the same way. There goes, you have your consistency. So entry is a lot easier, because if you have a strategy, that means you know how to enter a trade based on some scenario. All right. Otherwise, you don't even have a strategy. You can't even call it a strategy. So strategy is easy to be fixed. So let's say today you're entering, you have a strategy called, let's say, a momentum strategy. How do you define the momentum strategy? You must meet maybe confirmation A, B plus C. Then you enter based on limit order. So if let's say you're entering based on limit order, that means there goes, you already have a mechanical entry model. Now what's left is your exit. Because why? You cannot, again, some traders prefer having a static TP model, which is every time they close for 2R, or have a static 3R TP. So static TP means every single time you enter a position with a fixed RR target, could be 2R, could be 3R. Unless you have this fixed TP exit model. Otherwise, I would still suggest you spend more time to refine your exit model, so you can learn how to maximize your winners. Because there are certain trade, okay, how the elite traders, especially those who trade on the prop desk level, 8 figures or 7 figures or beyond, they are good at adding into their winner. How do they add to their winner? Do you think they add into their winner purely based on gut feeling? Gut feeling is only one aspect, one side of the story. But what's more important is they add into their winner by abiding to their mechanical approach. They have a strict filtering process. They have a strict selective process to tell them, when should I close early? When should I hold? When should I scale? So I hope all of you learned something new from this really short lesson. I do apologize. It's a long topic. I cannot possibly do 20 lessons just on refining your entry, your trade management, and your exit. But I hope all of you really understand what I'm trying to express here. Spend more time on your exit. Entry, especially if you have a limit order system, is easy to be fixed, but the exit is usually the pain point. So if you all learn something new, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you in the next lesson. Bye-bye.